If you're a blogger or content creator and you feel like you're working way too hard for the results you're getting, we need you to hear this. The Smart Influencer Summit is happening this April, and this is not another fluffy conference where you take notes and change nothing. This is a working summit.
We're bringing together serious creators who are ready to tighten up their systems, fix their monetization leaks, and finally build a business that doesn't depend on hustle mode 24/7. It's intimate, it's strategic, and it's built for creators who are past the beginner phase, but not quite at team of 20 and private equity level. If you're tired of guessing and ready to execute with clarity, grab your ticket now at thesmartinfluencer.com/summit. We'll see you in the room. Welcome to the Smart Influencer Podcast. If you're tired of chasing algorithms, second guessing your strategy, or feeling like you're doing all the things without seeing the growth you want, you're in the right place.
We're your hosts. I'm Christina.
And I'm Corinne.
And we're bloggers, business owners, systems nerds, and founders of the Smart Influencer. Between the two of us, we've built multiple six-figure brands, launched digital products, hosted live events, and coached creators who are ready to level up.
Each week, we break down what's actually working in today's creator economy, from monetization and list growth to systems, automation, and building a business that doesn't own you. Because this isn't about hustling harder.
It's about building smarter. Let's get into it. Okay, so you are back with the wonderful Corinne and Christina today.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! And we want to talk today about how you can stop managing tasks and start making decisions. Right?
Amen.
This is like the ever-present problem, I feel like, in my business.
Yep.
And it's not that I feel overwhelmed. Like once I figured this out, I learned that I don't feel overwhelmed because I have too much to do. I'm overwhelmed because I really didn't decide what matters, right? And where I should be focusing my time.
100%. Yep.
Yeah.
Every time we get overwhelmed, I think we circle back to this realization.
Yep. Once you figure that out, it really does reset everything and you start to become productive again.
Right.
Yeah.
So, listeners, if your to-do list is long, but you still feel like you didn't move the needle this week, this episode is for you.
Mm-hmm. Right? Because we know tasks, they multiply, right? They're like when you get the water on the gremlin and like they grow into 100 gremlins, right? They
Right.
multiply. Decisions help reduce that,
Yeah.
right? Tasks are really reactive in our business, right? They're not proactive, but
Right.
decisions help direct them. And I
Exactly.
think once we understand that, it really helps because most bloggers are operating like managers of tasks, but thriving bloggers operate like decision makers.
Yep, that is the difference. That is the key difference. So,
Hmm.
like we've talked about this before, right? Like, are you actually productive or are you just busy, right? Like you say that all the time. So, like this is what being busy looks like. You check off a bunch of things. Somehow, though, you still feel behind. You didn't make more money and you didn't feel like your growth went anywhere. And the reason for that is because tasks don't prioritize themselves. That's your job. Your task list left by itself doesn't know what's going to move your business forward. That's a decision that you have to make.
Hmm. Yeah, that's huge, right? So we can have those big long task lists, those big brain dumps of all these
Which
things.
we love to make.
Oh, I'm looking at mine right here. I have a huge brain dump right over here to my left. But where I think the power comes in is making the decisions on what to focus on there and what is actually going to move our needles forward,
Right.
right? Makes us productive, right? Because tasks, like I said, they're reactive by nature, right? We have to answer an email, update a link, fix the formatting, respond to comments, turn on or turn off a plugin, right? They're all important things. Don't get me wrong. We have to do them,
Right.
but none of those are directional, right? They don't give our business any direction. They're things we have to do, busy work that we have
Right.
to do.
And we'd already talked about it. Like some of those things, like are set, like if that's how you're addressing your day, you are setting yourself up to be in reaction mode, right? Like,
Yeah.
so if you start in email, for example, like you said, you're making somebody else's problems your priority right
Mhm.
now. And we're coming at it backwards then. We're like, we don't want to react. We want to decide. So it's okay to check email when you decide it's time to check email and you're ready to handle that batch of tasks.
Yeah, it needs to be on your terms.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I, think what's important to understand here too is managers know how to execute things, right? Like they're really good at getting things done and executing. But CEOs, which is what you are, they know how to decide and make decisions,
Right.
right? A manager is going to say what needs to be done today, and then they go ahead and they get that done. But the CEO comes at it as what matters most this week.
And that's the important difference, right? Like that's what we're hoping if you're listening today, you're going like we'll give you lots of examples, but that's the mindset shift that we
Yeah.
want you to make.
Yeah,
So
that
if
is
we took away your task list, right? Like you've got we all have a to-do list. We know this. If you've got your task list and we only allowed you to choose three outcomes for this week, like so don't think about it. Don't think about your tasks. Think about three things that need to happen this week to move your business forward. What would those be?
go ahead and answer that in your head or out loud. Think about that. Because I think many of us will start to say reactive things like, oh, I have to respond to that email, or oh, I have to do this, or I have to do that. But I want you to think about what's going to move the outcomes, right? And this, I think, is the perfect spot for like a decision dashboard,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And
Not a to-do list,
right, a dashboard.
a dashboard.
This is a huge game changer. So this is this is not another list, right? Like this is going to become a filter. It's going to make it super easy for you to see and to decide what needs to be done. It's going to tell you what are the three most important things, the outcomes that have to happen this week. What can wait, right? Like, because not everything needs to happen now. And like to that point, what am I intentionally not going to work
Yes.
on? Okay, quick pause. Because if you've been thinking about coming to the Smart Influencer Summit but haven't pulled the trigger yet, let's talk. If you've ever left a conference fired up and then 3 weeks later you're right back where you started, yeah, we built this to fix that. This summit is designed around implementation. You won't just listen, you'll plan, you'll workshop, you'll think through your actual business, your traffic, your offers, your systems with other creators who get it.
And here's the thing, this is not a 500-person ballroom event. It's intentionally small so the conversations are real. The networking actually matters, and you're not just a badge walking around. If you're a mid level blogger making money but feeling stuck, this is your room. Tickets are limited. When they're gone, they're gone. Head to the smartinfluencer.com/summit and secure your seat. Future you will be very glad you did. And it feels good when you give yourself permission to not work on something. Once I started adopting this method in, managing what I need to do in my days and my weeks, this was so impactful and huge for me. Like I love telling myself what I don't have to work on.
Right.
It's huge.
Well, both of us, when we had kind of decided what we weren't getting an ROI from Instagram, the
Mhm.
amount of weight that took off my shoulders to be like, I don't care if, I don't care if we're supposed to do it. Like, it's not feeding what my goals are. I'm not going to. And it was like such a big burden off my shoulders.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when you take this approach, the number one question you need to ask yourself is what is actually moving your needle, right? Outcomes are not tasks.
Right.
So
So
for
let's give lots of examples here because I feel
Mhm.
like it's hard. Again, it's a
Yeah,
mindset shift, and we want you to know, like, be able to tell the difference between what a task is and what an outcome is because we want you to be thinking in outcome mode.
yeah, yeah. So a task might be writing 3 blog posts, right? It's a task. We know what we have to do. We have to write the posts. An outcome might be publish and promote one strategic post that's tied to your primary traffic system. So, if you remember in a previous episode, we talked about those 3 systems in our businesses, and one of them was our traffic system. So, publishing and promoting the post that's tied to that, that is now an outcome, right? Not just 3 random posts that I have to get out because I have to have 3 things published this week.
Right. Or like I actually had this task on my list at one point. Like this is a great example. Clean up email automation. Like okay. Right? Like that's a task. It's a thing
Yeah.
I've got to do. But what I really needed to do was increase my opt-in conversion. So like I set a goal for that. Increase my opt-in conversion by 2%. Like now I know what the outcome is I'm looking for with the actions that are going to cause that. So outcomes are going to give you clarity on what like tasks are important, what things need to occur.
Right.
We're not
And it,
thinking of the task list. We're thinking of what we want to accomplish first.
and now many times the task can lead to the outcome. So if you're not sure what like a task versus an outcome, look at your task. And then this is an exercise I do in one of the classes I teach. It's actually from Toyota. It's called the 15 whys, right? So if you're talking about cleaning up email automation, that's a perfect example, right?
Mhm.
Ask yourself why 15 times and you will get to the root of that. Why are we cleaning up email automation? Well, because we want people to buy something. Why do we want them to buy? Like you just keep asking yourself why, and eventually you'll get down to I need to increase my opt-in conversion,
Right.
right?
And
Eventually you'll get there.
so coming back to the blog post example, perhaps even like we could still drill down deeper, right? Like so instead of setting an arbitrary number, right? Like we want to publish and promote one post that's tried to like the why is because we want to drive more traffic. So your outcome actually might be to, increase the number of posts, like right, or increase traffic, overall traffic. Like that could be an outcome, but you want it to be very specific.
Very specific.
Yeah, very specific. By
Yeah.
what amount, in what fashion?
Specific and realistic. We're back to that
Yeah,
whole SMART
back
goal
to
thing.
realistic. Yes.
We're
Okay,
going
so
to the whole SMART goal thing. Like, yes, would I love my opt-in conversion rate to be 35%?
right.
Absolutely. Is too realistic? Yes, it is.
Yes. So then here's the bigger one. And this is, for some reason, this is always like the most fun part for me because I know how it feels on the other end of it, but it's hard to get going on it. And it's
Yeah.
the what can wait or what can come off the list, right? Like I love the feeling of a good purge, like after I've triaged my list, but getting going because it made it to the list for a reason. So it's really hard when you get started because everything feels super important.
Hmm.
But everything can't be urgent. Like that can't be
No.
true, right? Like that's just not the reality we live in.
Right.
So so look at your list of things that you've got to do, things that you want to do, and like go through and just like what has to happen now? Like, is it tied to an outcome right now? Like, is it tied to an outcome that's important to you? If not,
Hmm.
it can wait. Like, it can
Right.
wait or it can leave the list. Like those are my favorite, the ones that I'm like, why is this even on the list? How did it get here? Is it really
Hmm.
that important? But once you do that, once you get these things off of the immediate filter, you're going to have less anxiety. You're going to be able to focus now on the things that actually have to happen. And this is how you're going to build momentum.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it really helps me. Like I do that on my big whiteboard. You do the brain dump and then I go through and I go through and give myself permission
Yeah.
really quickly. Yeah. So, what are you not going to work on? So, while we're in that frame of mind about what you're giving yourself permission to wait on,
Push down the
there,
road. Yes.
yeah, right. But there are things that you don't need to work on right now,
Right.
right? There's certain things that just, to go back to the fire example, there's certain things that just aren't on fire right now that we
Right.
don't have to work. So, it might be you might have rebuild your entire website on your list. And that may be one of your priority levers for right now. And if it is, great. But for many of us, that may not be it. That's a nice to have, not a need to have.
Right.
Right. Or launching a new offer. Why would you be launching a new offer when you don't have your existing offers, actually performing well?
Right.
Maybe starting a new platform. Again, should you be starting a new platform when you don't have the ones that you're currently working on performing well? Or creating something that doesn't tie into your main traffic or monetization system. So things that you already put in place, right? So think about those things because you don't need to work on those right now. And it's okay, right? You don't get ahead by doing more. You get ahead by getting rid of that distraction.
Right, because this is a thing for creators. Like, this is why most of us end up procrastinating by we're creators. So we like to do that stuff. We like to do the planning. We like to make
Yep.
new things. We like to learn a new platform. But it's a procrastination tactic. It's a distraction.
Hmm.
And I think and there's a different example for each person depending on what you do. For me, it's launching new products. I love to work on a new product. But I really shouldn't be working on any new products until all of my funnels are performing like seamlessly and basically on autopilot.
Right. Right. You should be able to rinse and repeat those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
The thing is, you don't need more ideas. What you need is a structured system and a time to decide on what to work on. Right? We've got tons of ideas.
Yeah.
I'm sure at any given time, you could give
Lots of
me an
ideas.
arm's length of ideas.
So
Yeah.
when you start like leading with decisions instead of trying to cross things off your to-do list, you're going to notice again, this is about being in like proactive mode, not reactive mode. You're going to stop feeling like you're getting pulled along, like, and you have no control over what's happening. You're going to stop chasing urgency and feel like that concept of like putting out fires or feeling like new problems keep popping up. And you're going to make trade-offs consciously. Like you are
Yeah.
going to choose. Because sometimes we do it because we missed an opportunity because we were too slow or because we were like our eye was over here and we dropped this ball over here. That feels terrible. But if you choose this over that, like that power of having made that decision feels much better. Like
Yeah.
it's that feeling of being in control instead of being controlled by the things that are happening
Yes.
around you. And that is where
Amen.
you're going to see progress.
And this is really how businesses scale, right? Not by increasing activity and doing things, but it's by increasing your clarity and knowing what needs to be done to move forward.
Yep.
That's huge, right?
Okay, so again, we want you guys to be implementing, like we're trying to give you real actionable
Mhm.
things that you can like work on and do so that you can actually watch your business move forward like immediately after listening to the podcast. So what we want you to do, we asked you earlier, we want you to sit down and actually right now, as soon as you've finished listening to this episode, pause and write down 3 outcomes for this week. Make
Not
sure
three to-do
there's
items.
yeah, not to do items. Like you want outcomes. Like these are kind of, they're going to look in some fashion like goals. They're going to be specific, they're going to be measurable, and they are going to be aligned to one of the 3 systems we talked about in our last episode: traffic, monetization, or execution.
Hmm.
Like one of your three
Yep.
key systems.
Yep. Then figure out what's the one thing that you are going to intentionally not work on, right? That's big.
It is big. That
Yeah.
one for me is always the big kicker, right? Like that one
Right?
is like, it is. I can't describe the feeling. Like, do it and you will feel it. But it is like you feel pounds lighter as soon as you decide it.
Once I started doing this system, and like it manifests in different ways, right? So I use mine on my whiteboard, and I'm looking at it right now, and I write everything down, and I went through and figured out what I'm going to work on and what I'm not going to work on. My not work on quadrant is huge. I gave myself permission to like give up on a lot of things. Not give up, postpone, because
It's
it's not
funny that
important right now.
because Christina and I, we'd say this all the time. Well, a lot of times we end up in the same place, but our like system for getting there is different. Mine is I do the brain dump. I think we both brain dump. I think you're using the quadrants right now. I don't do the quadrants. What I do is I go through and I color them. I color
Yep.
code them first, right? Like so that I can
Yep.
start to find priorities. And then I literally erase them. Like I don't, I am so visual. I need it to not be taking up space. I don't need it rooted in there. I have to physically erase them so that I don't like, so that I can't accidentally remember them and add it back to the
Yeah.
list.
Accidentally remember.
Because, that's how my stupid memory works. I would be remembering the things that I'm not supposed to be doing.
Or
Because
I would do like I'm not gonna lie though. I look at that quadrant, I'm like, oh, but I kind of want to do that one thing on there because I really want to do it.
this is why I also can't do your 100 tabs that are open. Like I
Oh,
don't like if it wasn't important enough for me to deal with by the end of the day, it either goes on the calendar or it disappears forever. So
well, that's really because my brain doesn't work normally. So if you're tired of feeling busy, right, but you don't feel like you're ever getting ahead with anything. I know because I was exactly there. Sometimes I'm still there every once in a while. This is exactly what we're doing in person at the Smart Influencer Summit, right? So we built in 2 whole days that are focused on building systems and making decisions that are going to help you shape the next year of your business.
and beyond, honestly.
Oh
Like
yeah.
some of these systems, once you've like cemented them, and like again, we built this summit because it's the one we wanted to go to. Because
Mhm.
the thing with these systems will help give you a rhythm, they'll help give you that clarity, but we do exist in the real world. So stuff's going to make it back on your to-do list. Something's going to go sideways and you're going to be in reaction mode again because you just got out of your best headspace. So this is something you revisit over and over again. Just like, I mean,
Right.
anything that requires good habits, right? Like healthy eating, exercise, right? Like you might be on a good run for a while and then, I don't know, you get sick and you stop doing it for a bit. So like this is meant to be like we will do it every year because it is meant to be that reset to re-energize you and
Yeah.
re-ground you so that you can move forward and make big strides with your business. That's our
Yeah.
hope for you.
Yeah. And you can find all the details about the summit at thesmartinfluencer.com/summit. We still have a few tickets available. So if you're thinking about it, now is the time to jump on it.
All right, thank you for joining us this week, and we will
Yeah.
be back next week with another episode to help you grow smarter, work harder. No, not
Oh,
work harder.
not work
No,
harder.
that's not right at all. This is why I need scripts. We will be back next week with another episode to help you grow smarter, work less, and earn more.
And earn more. Bye. Before we wrap up, one more reminder. If this episode resonated with you, the Smart Influencer Summit is where this work goes deeper. Real strategy, real conversations, real implementation. No fluff, no vague inspiration, no manifest your millions nonsense. Just smart creators building smart businesses.
If you're ready to stop circling the same problems and finally solve them, grab your ticket at thesmartinfluencer.com/summit. We would love to see you there.
If today's episode gave you clarity, direction, or even just one solid aha moment, that's your cue to take action.
Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss what's coming next. And if you found this helpful, please share it with a creator friend who needs to hear it. Smart creators build in communities.
And if you're ready to go deeper, whether that's through our mastermind, live events, or free resources, head to thesmartinfluencer.com and get on our list.
That's where we share the strategies, tools, and behind the scenes insights we don't always talk about on the podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Now go build something smarter.